Hello, everyone on a Dev Club. It's weird to speak when you don't see or hear anything back. But Edgar sent me a message, said, can you tell a story? How did you went from zero to where you are right now? So in next, 15 minutes, I will try to pack in 4 years of challenges and growth. So I have 11 slides prepared. Yeah, Edgar's?
Yeah, will you share slides?
Yeah, I'm gonna show something.
And one more thing, next speaker will show up only at 7:30. So if you can, speak more, not less.
Okay, but maybe then we can, if there is any questions, you can kind of guys jump straight in and ask questions. The only problem is I don't see a comment screen as I'm switched to my presentation, but maybe Edgar, if there's any question coming in throughout our giraffe story, maybe you can straight away ask me so we kind of keep this more conversational. Sounds good?
I will interrupt if you.
Okay, I'm not sure, but okay, I will then just kick off and try to take my time. So yeah, I'm Mikus Opelts. I'm one of the founders of a company called Giraffe360. In essence, we build a camera technology, send it to real estate companies based on subscription, and they do all their property scans. So the key contents that our customers create are photographies, accurate floor plans, virtual tours. We just started to release point clouds because we have a LiDAR in the laser in the camera. So it's a simple solution that gives many different opportunities. So how it all started, it started with the first prototype. I think this is one of the first ones in the picture, and now we have, in the last 4 years, we have worked a lot and have gone. I think we are now on a proper scale mode. Couple of facts. So we started in 2016. Now we are a team of a bit more than 70 people. Through the last 4 years, we have raised almost $7 million in funding. We have had 3 rounds, which was pre-seed, seed, and pre-series A that we literally just announced. And we work in the B2B markets but we still measure ourselves. Even though we have a hardware, we fully focus on SaaS metrics and try to compare ourselves with other SaaS companies. We feel that that's the best fit for us. And I'm going to talk on the business model a bit further on. We're targeting real estate companies, and right now we have clientele in 26 countries. So it started back in 2016. I think this was this is the oldest photo I can find where there is something related with a camera drawing. This was the initial idea, but how it all started is I actually worked with virtual tours and other visualization solutions already before. Back in 2010, maybe you have heard about a company called ScottScott. We started with friends in a uni company called ScottScott, and we did virtual tours. Later, my brother and mothers moved from Sweden to Latvia to join the business, and we started to think of how do we roll out like a product and switch from just providing a service and actually building a technology. And this is basically in one of those conversations, the concept of Giraffe360 was born. And our concept right now it's really simple. We build the cameras, we ship them to real estate companies, and they create any necessary content for property scanning. As I said, photography, floor plan, virtual tours. And we believe that a service like ours is needed, just because if you're a real estate business, you can't order a service provider to come in every building and do that job for you. And smartphones and other simple tools are not good enough in quality. So what we try to do, we try to build a really high quality product that gives high-end solutions, high-end content in the same way as a professional service provider would do it, but we build it in a super simple and easy to use interface, so anyone, literally kid, can use it, and there's not too big of a learning curve for the product. One of the things that probably kind of we have gone against the common standards of how startups should be built is I think we pretty early, almost since day one, we always had like 3 different offices. We have in Riga we mostly do engineering and development, IT, and in Liepaja we have a service team and IT team, and we do sales in London. So even when we started as a small company, we straight away went to, okay, let's build a focus teams. And I think this is, I don't know, like what's the general learning there, but I feel for us it has worked quite well, because then each of the office can be really focused on their agendas, because agenda for a dev team and agenda for the sales team it's pretty different. And because we have separate offices from where it's happening, then we can really focus there on the agenda for the team. So I think that's an advantage. But if you read startup rules of thumbs and etc., that's probably not recommended to have a saturated team. For us, I think has worked out pretty well. Second thing I wanted to mention on us is we don't sell our cameras. We provide them as a subscription. And why subscription? We actually knew that we're going to have a subscription business model probably before we knew that we're going to build camera, just because I think how business is charging its customers is where the business focus eventually going to end up being. So we never wanted to be in a sales business where we just try to get that conversion in and then forget about customer. I think subscription is a really good model where we can focus on the longevity of the deal, and it's more important for us to keep our customers for next 5 years instead of just close some random deal and then lose it. So churn becomes an important metric to measure on. So I in general really like the subscription business model. I think it's well suited for this day and age, and it allows company to focus on a service and the business quality as a whole rather than focus on that initial transaction. So even though our cameras are pretty high end, we still provide them for customers for free. If they ever cancel service, which happens extremely rarely, I need to know that, then they just return the devices, we polish them up and send to some other customers. Go to market. I needed to put in a slide where it's there's some sort of a failure because every story there's an ups and there's an downs. So I think the middle period when we had our initial product developed and we started to ship, we obviously were fighting lots of errors. And our rollout plan, we never tried to kind of build huge batches and deliver them to the customers. Our rollout plan was always quite steady. So we built our first prototype, we shipped it out to 3 customers. We learned from those customers what doesn't work, where the UX is wrong, and then we built the next model, and then we built it on for 10 customers. So then we shipped out the 10 cameras, then 30. And since we never actually sell the devices, we can afford if there's a failure, because it's not simple to manage that, but we never actually sell a device to the customer. So when there's a failure or something doesn't work in those initial stages, we just can switch it around, send a new one, and customer can continue to use the support. From my end, about this first go-to-market stage, there were a couple of things which I thought we did well, and if I would have to return back once more, I would do them again. First one, I maybe just switch the slides so there's not constantly error on the screen. I think one of the things is we straight away started to build a B2B sales team in London rather than try to scale the sales from Latvia. That that's all doable, but just starting straight away in a market where the one of the biggest clientele is going to be, just straight away kind of we can learn from our market that we are selling to. And from London also we were able to grow to close markets here like France, Germany. We picked up a lot of customers across the field. I think that still was a good call, even though it was a bit clunky and complicated to do that. But from my end, on that initial step, when we had like first 30 cameras and working, we at that point we probably were roughly 20 people, but 19 tech team, and we didn't had anyone on sales or accounts. And I was dealing with all the inquiries, and if I need to recommend others to do something, I think is delay hiring a front end team that deals with issues, because it's really complicated, and every company needs to go through those cycles and just deal with all the failures and the bugs and do it themselves, instead of trying to divert it to some sort of a support team. But when the product is not ready and it's not working, I think it's too early to bring in a support team and then ask them to deal with these issues. So I just gave out my phone number, my WhatsApp number to all our customers, and 24/7 when there was an error was working with them, and that gave a really kind of good understanding what still needs to be done for a product to fully catch the market. And so we find that product market fit, that cool word. Then the next one is what I didn't mention on the first part is when we kicked off a company in 2016, we raised the pre-seed straight off the bat. We raised €500,000. It's really hard to build a hardware without raising some money, and just the development cycles are bigger and we need more resources. So I think more software-focused companies can do some bootstrapping, but for us, it more or less wasn't an option. And then we raised our seed investment. It was 2019. We raised from Change Ventures, was the lead investor. The total round size was 1.5 million. It's last January 2019 Jan. That was a really important fundraise, because that then gave us as a startup opportunity to, okay, we have built the product, we have gone through the buggy stages. Let's now go into some scale mode. Let's start to seriously push and double down. And on the seed round, we're still where we build a hardware, but we try to measure ourselves as a SaaS company. So one of my learnings raising that round is, on early stages, you're still better off pitching angel investors rather than VCs, even though Change Ventures led that round and joined. But there are not too many funds in Latvia. Maybe something has changed this year, but when we were pitching in 2018, 2019, there was almost no funds that could give 1.5 million seed round, like a one investor. So what you need to do is you need to work to build up some 3, 4, 5. We ended up actually with 8 investors in that round, and to build it up. So it's a lot of work to try to put the, as they are called, tickets together, and then get them in and close the round. So I think my advice for others raising a seed round is still focus on the angels, because angel investors are ex-entrepreneurs, they're ex-professionals, and for them it's also easier to see whether the product has a potential and they understand the new product as a concept. When VCs are more focused on the business numbers, how many users you have, what's your MRR, like what are the results? I think that's how angels separate from the VCs. So, and after that seed round, we could start to kind of push in the growth. We since that we had almost 2 years. We've been growing 800% last year, and this year we have tripled or 5 times increased last year's results, at least. Let's see how the year ends. We are now, as I mentioned, at 20. I think now, as of today, we are already in 26 countries. 92% of our customers are real estate agencies. I don't know if you think that real estate agency is a big market or small market, but for us, we know that it's big, because in Europe there's 200,000 real estate agencies, and in the US there's additional 100,000. So those are 300,000. We have selected a niche which is big enough for us to really kind of double down and grow seriously in it. And then we have obviously other customer groups like architects, property managements, some other real estate and tech related businesses. So yeah, so that's since that we've been kind of going on this growth and streak, but this going from January 2019 and till today, it still has been a lot of hustle and and just working a long hours. If I in general, we are 70 people in the team, so everybody has their own story. Mine is definitely doesn't represent everyone's, but so now going into the next stage, we just announced we raised this new fundraise. I think now I also wanted to post a beautiful photo with the camera now, so you see that it's constantly moving ahead, and I think now it's on our end about becoming really smart and building a scalable systems. Like all the focus right now is not only on hustling, but about implementing smart systems throughout the company, sales, accounts, dev, all the backends, like so manufacturing. So we can't right now, like if one of the areas is not quick enough to onboard new customers, then the whole business is waiting on. So and right now we can't, like the business is getting too big to just hustle through it. I think being smart and focusing on smart systems is one of the kind of mantras on my end. And I also think that in last 2 years, I don't remember when I have learned so much in just like theory, like try to pick other startup stories to understand other experiences. For example, I think in the last 2 years I have now read it's close to 35 books. Previously it was just hustle, no time. Like now it's about, okay, you can only hustle to the X amount. Now it's, yeah, we also have to do smart bets. So yeah, so Giraffe, we are constantly hiring, and if you're interested, just reach out. You know where to find us. It's we post some job boards, and now we are off to the next growth stage. I hope that after this stage we will be. I think one metric I can say is the countries. I really like when we open clients in new countries, and we just started to work with customers in Dubai, in Cayman Islands, and to see that our product can be used wherever. It doesn't matter if it's Ireland or Dubai, and companies just take it and it becomes their main method of creating a visual content for their web and for their listings. For me personally, that's one of the biggest gratifications is the word, I think. So yeah, it's a big round. Sorry, I will check if there's any questions, because I don't know. Guys, do you have any questions? Because I'm kind of running out of my 11 slides here, and Edgar's needs me to speak for an additional 10 minutes at least. Yeah, so
do you hear me now?
Yes, I hear you.
Is it good quality?
Yeah, actually right now it sounds good.
It's time for a song. Maybe not this time. Okay. Yeah, I just used the moment to check out how does sound work. Luckily it's good. So let's wait a bit for questions. So can you give a real, I obviously I didn't see all your slides. Did you give real numbers? What's your turnout right now?
No, we don't disclose two numbers. How many customers we have, and aka what's the turnover. Those two we still keep secret. But we proudly constantly mention the countries whenever we get a new one. But in terms of geographies, we predominantly still the majority of the clientele is here in the UK, because we started off here, and Switzerland is now our second biggest market. Then I think it's Austria, then Germany, and then France. Which is interesting is when Switzerland has become kind of it's faster growing than Germany. As a B2B company, we definitely see the word of mouth working. We right now have 30% of our customers comes from referrals, and in a small market, as soon as in Geneva we got one customer on, then clients in Zurich are straight away interested. So in a small market, we really well see how the buzz is starting to build up. In a big markets like Germany, UK, we really have to work to get like the interest from the top customers.
Andreas has a question about do you see in our chat or you don't, Mikus?
Yeah, difficulties entering a new market. Yeah.
Yeah.
Andreas, good question. I think yeah, it's a good question. The definitely are difficulties. We are just ignoring them. Right now, we are servicing all our customers in English, and we have sold to them in English. And we just recruited our first German-speaking sales executive, joined our team 2 weeks ago. So the next question is, once he closed the deal in German, can we provide the support in German? So in Latvia, it's an advantage that we are bilingual. We have a kind of lots of people that speak multiple languages. So what we have realized is we can't build the local offices in all the markets. That just doesn't scale. It's not impossible. So when we are now hiring people on the communication end, we're looking for at least 2 language skills. So I think everyone on our front team speaks at least 2 to 3 languages. So we can just easier scale. That's kind of how we try to cover. But yeah, right now everything is still in English, and we haven't started to adapt. But probably the next adoption we're going to do will be German. And I will definitely check out your platform. So.
Last time we were in DevClub in I think 2016, and then we talked about Portium's domination plan and world domination plan. Portium's was my ambition, not your ambition. Your ambition was bigger. But so right now, how does it feel for you? Are you dream where you want to be, or it's still 20 years of work?
Oh, we're pretty much still in the early days. So we're still scrappy, early startup, and we have probably two competitors in the world. One is the existing cumbersome habit of asking a service provider to come down and do your content creation, and the second one is the smartphone, which provides low quality content, but it's widely used because if it's already in your pocket, it doesn't cost you anything extra to start doing. And like new iPhone comes out with a LiDAR, so there's some basic options to do some 3D scan or create like a basic point cloud. We don't think that it's good enough for market standards. So we have a big kind of just challenge ahead to keep introducing, because we are unique in that sense when we are building a tech for a non-educated user, but it's a high-end content. We have the highest quality across the spectrum. If there are other companies in our space that are doing products, but they predominantly are either low quality or they're built for professional users. So that's kind of, and there's still a long way to go to see that we have fulfilled our mission. So we're pretty early. We still need some. I hope it's not 20 years, but I hope we're gonna get there soon, or yeah, depends on what we understand with soon.
In the green numbers or not yet?
Green? Do you mean like profitable?
Positive cash flow, yeah. I mean,
like whenever we reach that milestone, it's we start to invest. We are focused on the growth, so we will not be. That's not our metric. Our metric is the growth speed. Like last year, it was 20% month-on-month growth, and whenever to continue the growth, we have to keep earning. That's why we raise investors' money, and we focus on a long-term growth rather than short-term. If we would stop, probably yeah. The answer, it's almost yes, but it depends on our investments, how heavily we want to push the growth and the development, the new models, new features. More people in the team, so stuff like that. Growth team, yeah.
What's the milestone? When do you stop to invest? Do you have it like in mind, or you just have this burning cash mindset?
It's not burning cash minds, it's growth minds. I think that's important. But no, I don't think that there is a line in the sand. As long as company can grow, it should grow. And when the company can't grow anymore, the product, that means that either it has maxed out the market and has a complete dominance over the market, which is called monopoly, which more or less, like in a tech world, still happens, or and then you just service the market, or the other option is the competitors beat you, and you can't grow because your competitor has a better product. Second scenario is not an option. we, we have to win the fight with the competition fight, but the first scenario, we're nowhere near. Like in Europe, there's 200,000 real estate offices, and then architects and all other groups of customers. USA, Australia. We had our first demos for Japan, and I mentioned Dubai. We have quite a few customers picking up, so we are only scratching the surface.
Investors, are they all like long-term investors, or somebody is like for some term period when they want to try to sell the share, or it doesn't matter in a terms of strategy for company?
I think it matters because the investors have an important role in the company, because investors invest to see some certain return, and that puts company on a trajectory. So with angel investors, they are more flexible. I've like many angel investors I've met over the years. I think still in Baltics, the mindset is we want to understand what this new thing is, startups. We want to invest and see what happens. Because when I ask, okay, what's the expected return? Where do you see company going? It's like as big as possible. It's like really vague answer, and rather than like specific numbers. So I think for lots of angels, we don't have like a professional angel investor network that know at which stage they want to exit, or whether and what's the expected growth curves for a startup. For VCs right now, every 5 years the numbers are like 10xing. I think if in 2010, if a decent startup had a 10 million revenue, then today, if you don't hit 100 million ARR as a SaaS business, you are not considered like interesting company, or you basically have, based on the startup rules, you have failed, so you haven't conquered the market. So the numbers just keep massively growing. Every 5 years, we see the numbers are just pushed ahead. So we see has more understanding where the company should be, and they want company to be aggressive in their approach to the growth. So yeah.
Engineers and teams or departments?
Yeah, so I will start from the smallest team. The smallest team is sales. We have what now? Two sales, one SDR, two accounts. So the customer facing team is still extremely small, and one support person. So that kind of gives you outlook to where our focus is on the tech and building the product. Like our bet is that we're going to have the best product in the world, and we believe we already have. Just now need to scale it, and this is how this is how we need to conquer the world, not with like other assets, but having the best product. So but then the biggest team is file processing. For us, it's in Liepāja. So when the camera scans properties, the files goes to Liepāja. So we have automatized processing, or AI machine that edits the pictures, draws up the floor plan, but there are still, and that's what we've been doing probably heavily last year and last 2 years, and like just doubling down, we need to automatizing these processes. So but we still can't get everything done automatically, so we have our file processing team that finishes up the projects and prepares them and delivers back to the client. So basically client just presses the button, and then then since then the files come to Leapire, we process them, and then we deliver back to the customer's dashboard. Our manufacturing facility, like we build our cameras ourselves. We have partners we source parts from, but we do the assembly ourselves, and we build multiple parts ourselves. I think it's fair to say that we're a bit control freaks to control our destiny and not to outsource stuff. It's not maybe the easiest way. So, and there's like, I think we have 5-7 people in the manufacturing, and then the rest is the engineering team, the engineers that work with the camera, and then developers that work with the codes.
Are you still only renting out just the service, or you are selling cameras as well?
Well, we are, and we always gonna stay as a subscription. The cameras can't be bought, so we provide them on a subscription. And I think like when we first spoke, it was when we were starting off. There was lots of theses. This is one that definitely has shown true. And one thing I've been positively surprised that we have been able to work on a 12-month subscription basis with 85% of our customers are 12-month subscriptions. So subscription is not the cheapest thing. It's 399 euros a month. So for a real estate company, it's not the most expensive thing, but it's still almost 5,000 euros a year. It's a substantial subscription. It's kind of falls in between, and for lots of our customers, is the most expensive subscription or the second most expensive subscription they take. So, but I'm surprised, like, and that's learning on the growth and building the product. At first, I think we were really focusing on let's get the product in the hands of our customers, and then they're gonna stay there and grow from there. But in reality, people don't want to try things, market in general. Like if it's easier to convince them that this is the best product and sign them up for 12 months than to sign them up for like a free. Like at one point we realized to sign up customer for a 2-week free trial takes the same effort to close a 12-month contract, even though how like ridiculous it sounds. But that was an eye opener for me. But like once we go past the initial explorers, those initial companies that are just like tech savvy geeks and like just like interested in gadgets, and they naturally find us. Once we start working with the mass market, companies don't want to trial stuff. If you convince them that your product is good, they will buy. But if you can't convince it, then you will not convince them to invest 2 weeks of their time trialing your product. That was one big learning curve for us. And at first we were rolling out pilots left and right. Now we don't do almost any pilots, like because it just doesn't make sense, doesn't work. So that's one interesting learning on my end.
I would say there are last 1 minute for people to ask questions if there are some. Mikus, will you be around in a chat if any question comes up, or not really?
No, I will be disconnecting us. Sorry.
So
we have cameras to sell and to ship.
Yeah. Okay, then I'm reminding people that I pinned in the top the link to Andreas Talk's feedback form. Please give us feedback on Andreas Talk, and also please give us feedback on Mikus Talk. And since official part is kind of over, then thank you, Mikus, for finding time. I also have some food supplement for you. You can read code, then very important stuff there. I think even if you can't read code, you get the point. So, very important question: what is the best chocolate, milk or dark?
Dark.
Dark. Yes. Right answer. And dark chocolate for you, and that your feet would be warm. So, are you in? Where are you? You are in London.
Yeah, I'm in London.
We'll send you to London.
Or I'll pick it up once. Awesome. Thanks for inviting me. Have a great evening for everyone. And yeah, if you need anything, my email is my name, Mikus at giraffe360.com, and feel free to reach out. Yeah. Cheers. Bye.
Thank you.